What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game of the Week show, episode number 11. I'm your host, Matt Southwell, and joining me this week is my PIC, Ashley Dye.
What's up, everyone?
So you well?
Very good. Very good. Yeah, busy.
You got anything to say to me? No? Well,
it's not your birthday, is it?
It is my birthday. It is. Well, it will be on the video, so they don't need to know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so
happy birthday for the day the video goes
for today.
Online. Today.
For today, yes.
For today.
It's my birthday, so please make sure you watch the whole of the video. That can be your present to me. Please don't switch off now. Anyway, so this week is actually going to be a special episode of the Game of the Week show. Me and Ash are actually both off on holiday. So we're going to film this a bit early and just rather than bring them...
Not together, just...
Oh yeah, no, not together. Where are you going? Why don't you make everyone very jealous?
Can I say? Yeah.
Yeah, you can say.
I can say. Caribbean.
Caribbean. Very nice. Bit nicer than my trip to the south of England.
Yes, a little bit.
But yeah, so we're going to be away, not together, as far away as possible. So this week we are going to be talking about InFamous Second Son. This video is going to be a full spoiler cast of the game, so if you haven't played it, then you obviously shouldn't be watching it, but at the same time you should have played it because it is a great game.
It is a good game. Yeah.
So this is tying in nicely with the release of InFamous First Light that is coming to the PlayStation Network either tomorrow or Wednesday, depending if you're in the US or Europe. So Ash, shall we dive right into this?
Yeah, can do, yeah.
Okay, so very quickly, for everyone out there, I'm going to say I am a huge InFamous fan. I played the first one, loved it. Played the second one, loved it even more. And this game was what made me buy my PS4. I didn't get it at release. I got it on March the 21st or whenever it was.
It was, yeah, 21st.
And it came with the InFamous Second Son PS4 bundle. Ash, how are you? You're not. This is your first entry into
it. Is. It's the first InFamous for me, but because I liked it so much, I'm probably going to go and play the other two games. I would think because this was just such a good game, so much better than I expected.
What made you jump in? Was it me? Was it my badgering?
It was you, really. Yeah, I think because at the time,
you're welcome, Sucker Punch.
We were a little bit limited on what was available in March with the PS4. There were a few titles out there, but what there was, I sort of had what I wanted. And there's a lot of hype. Obviously, it's third in the series, and you sort of persuaded me. I thought if you're playing it, then I'll get on it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, such a good decision, such a good game.
You're welcome. But no, so very, very quickly, InFamous Second Son, it steps away from InFamous 1 and 2, so even if you haven't played it, it's a new lead character in a new city. It revolves around this world which is full of conduits, which basically means effectively superhumans with superpowers. Yeah. They have superpowers in them. This game, you take on the role of Delson Rowe, and he's a special type of conduit because he can absorb different other conduits' powers. So most conduits only have one power, but he can seem to take on a wide array of powers.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he's a power sponge.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good way of calling it.
Yeah.
So the game starts off with the first scene is you're introduced to Delson, and he's doing some graffiti. On a signboard. Yeah, I know. It was a while ago we played this.
It was a little while ago, yeah.
But that was the first scene.
Opening scene, yeah.
And so basically, you hear the cops coming. So you basically get put into control of Delson, and you have to. That just gets you used to the whole mechanics of feeling the character, jumping, moving, yada yada yada. It goes to a cut scene, and then the policeman finds you, which you find out to be
your brother.
Yeah, which is
Reggie.
Reggie Rowe.
Reggie Rowe.
Great name.
Yeah, Reggie.
And from there, he's giving him a telling off. He seems like some sort of delinquent, obviously. The black sheep of the family.
He is the lesser of the two brothers, I'd say. Yeah.
And their argument's broken up by a crash on the highway of a a police van.
Prison sort of...
a prison van.
Van, yeah, escorting a prisoner or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and two of the prisoners escape. One of them is a character called Hank, and when Delson tries to free him, that's when he first gets his
first power.
So how did you feel when you first took control of someone with a power? How did you feel the powers worked? Because that's when you first get introduced into the...
so the first power is smoke off Hank, isn't it? So
it is.
That's sort of like a run fast, run through things. It's 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 good. It's almost like a fast forward sort of surge through things, and
you can use it for the vents, can't you? So
that's right. Yeah, you can get through all the vents really quick. Smoke was okay, and at the time you kind of think it's a good power, but it's only when you get further down in the other powers you realise that smoke isn't really that great.
No, it's like, oh wow, this is really cool, and then. But
the smoke power, I mean, it does what's needed in the story at that time.
Yeah.
And the story sort of follows it on that basis. But once you've got all the powers, you don't really use smoke that much.
No, I was the same. It's probably... It's not my least favourite, but when I got onto like the second and the third powers, which we'll say in a minute, I basically stayed with those powers.
Yeah.
I think the game is designed really well in that respect.
Yeah.
Like, the game progresses in a way that it forces you to use all of those powers and not just make you feel that one power is particularly strong and then you use that power throughout the whole game.
But even later on in the game, there are times when you do need to go back to certain powers because you need them for certain things. Yeah. So there are certain things within the story or collectibles that you can only get to or reach by going through an event, and you can only go through an event with the smoke power.
Yeah.
So there are some that it is made for.
So basically, moving fast forward, after you've used smoke, you have to go into the city of Seattle.
Yeah. Your brother helps you get to Seattle. I think you end up with
his van.
A bus. You end up on a bus as well, don't you?
Yeah. Well, they don't
let him on the bus.
Yeah. Well, what we should say is these conduits are kind of seen as evil at the start, aren't they?
Bioterrorists, they are labelled as by the DUP.
Yeah. The DUP is
the...
I didn't write it down.
It's gone.
It's but they're basically the police.
The army,
the army. It's Department of something
Protection,
United Protection or something. I can't
something
remember.
like that.
I really should have wrote it down.
They're like the army.
Yeah, and they're headed by a woman called Augustine, who she comes into his town and basically she has a power of concrete, and she puts concrete into one of like kind of the wise women of the village.
Yeah,
Betty.
It's like
that's why Delson and Reggie are off into Seattle basically to hunt her down.
Yeah.
So,
Revenge.
There's a lot of games focus around revenge, it seems, isn't it?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No. So you use the smoke, and what we should actually say is that's when you're given your first choice of good or evil.
Yeah, so you've got good karma and bad karma. You're famous or infamous.
Yep. Which one did you? Which one
did I do first?
You did both, did you?
I did do both. I did good karma first, I think, and I think you did as well.
I was the same. I'll always play a game. I just feel, even though it's a video, I feel morally obliged to play good.
You do.
You do. The way this game works with the trophies that we'll talk about in a little bit, you have to play both anyway. So that's maybe one criticism I have of the game, is that I never really felt like each choice mattered a huge amount, because it was like good or bad, and I never felt to make a different decision. It was like, well, I want to get the good trophies, so I'm going to do good. And then I want to get the bad trophies, so I'm going to be bad. But I never felt like morally obliged to do one or the other.
No.
Which was a slight criticism, maybe. But so we get into Seattle. Obviously, the DUP are everywhere. They're trying to shoot you down because you're a terrorist.
Well, yeah, they're trying to reinforce a sort of curfew, if you like, of sort of keeping people
safe.
Well, basically.
Yeah. So you play that for a bit. We're not going to go into every detail, otherwise we'll be here all day. So after a while, you meet another conduit in the name of Fetch, who's the character for first light.
Yeah.
And she gives you neon. So what did you think of neon?
The neon power, that's good. Runs super fast. You can just whiz through everything, and it looks so good as well. Though. At
night time, running up the buildings.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Because I'll put some overlays in this so you can see, but basically it gives like a neon gleam, doesn't it?
It does,
and it's nice and bright and pink as well. So we know it's your favourite colour.
Oh, I love a bit of pink.
Of course you do.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah, the neon power does look good. I'm trying to remember. It's been so long since I played. What the attacking.
Yeah. So we should talk about that. The combat is basically you kind of. It's very basic. You can either shoot a base one which gives you like a bolt of neon or smoke as it was.
Yeah.
Or you can have like a grenade which is like a ball of power.
Yes.
So those are the basic two. Attacking things that you have.
I mean, you can upgrade. I mean, it's worth saying you can upgrade to several different powers and different variants of those powers, can't you?
There's that RPG element, isn't there, of the tree, which you have to.
Yeah.
So you collect these shards. Large shards around the cities, and every time you collect them, you can then spend them on your
upgrades. Get the upgrades because they are amazing.
So I'll say this. We talked about good and bad. Neon was my favourite power to use when I was good, because you could use. There was this mode where you could zoom in, or aim, and at that point it like slowed down time.
It did, yes.
And you could then. The idea was you'd shoot the enemies in the foot, which would then wrap kind of like a neon.
Yeah. And you would leave civilians alone. Whereas sometimes if you're a bit sort of like, you end up.
Injuring civilians, which you don't want. That's bad. So yeah, that's a really good power. I really like that. And then fetch. You do a few stories with fetch, depending on good or bad.
Yeah.
You're either taking down like kind of drug barons, because basically that's why she's on a rampage to kind of kill the drug ring in Seattle.
She's
because
on her own revenge, isn't she?
Yeah, her brother died as a result of a drug deal, so that's why she's out.
That's a good memory, Matt.
I know.
I can't remember that bit.
It's almost like I've got it written down here. I actually don't.
Okay.
Which is why I said boyfriend at first. And yeah, so that's why. Ooh.
Sorry, I'm not on silent.
That's okay.
My bad.
So that's why she wants to kill all the drug lords. And if you take the evil karma route, then you basically just go around terrorising the city.
Yeah.
Which is basically the same for all powers. You terrorise the city if you're bad.
Yeah. And there's something to be said about having the bad powers, because you can literally just kill anything in your way and not really worry about being careful about killing innocents. So there's that positive.
It's easier to be bad than it is to be good.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Should be a song. Must be a song.
It probably is a song.
Yeah.
So we roll on, continuing through the story. The whole story is basically you trying to basically build up enough powers to be strong enough to fight Augustine and take down the DUP. That's
at the same time
basically the overview of the story.
Yeah, you've got to clear certain areas of the map. So certain areas of Seattle are taken over by the DUP. So you almost have a central tower which you need to disable and kill the enemies around that, and that clears the area. And you need to do that within a dozen areas, and eventually that sort of moves you into other parts of the map where you can work your way to Augustine.
Yeah. So let's roll on now to your next power. This one was quite an interesting power.
My favourite, I would say, probably.
Your favourite. This was a video which you get off a little nerd kid called Eugene. But do you remember that mission where... Because basically in order to get these powers you have to defeat the conduits first.
You do.
But it's not a little nerdy kid, is it? Because it's video, he's like a super video game programmer.
Yeah. Is this the one where you have to jump across all the different...
Yeah. So, again, I'll put this on. This was really... For sure. I remember doing a party chat with you. And
it was hard.
I say a party chat. It was basically just kind of live swearing.
It was.
Well, I did it the second time on hard when I did evil, and I actually found it easier. Once you knew how to do it, it was actually easy.
Yeah, there are certain areas on that. It's like, is it lava?
Yeah,
basically got sort of floating rocks and lava, and you've got the flying Eugene and his defendants or whatever everywhere. So it's it was hard. Yeah, I mean, once you figured out where you could.
It was just timing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and where you could hide and where you couldn't. Where was the good spots to hide?
Yeah,
and then the timing as well to get up and shoot him.
Yeah,
but it was hard. I mean, in terms of defeating, I found that harder than actually defeating Augustine at the end, the big boss.
Yeah. So basically, once you've got video, anyway, that's actually all of your powers for the game, effectively. Pretty much.
For the gameplay, yes.
For the gameplay, yes.
Yeah.
So, and then you talk about Augustine. So, you actually run into Hank again.
Yeah.
Because he obviously escaped afterwards, and he decides to help you, to take you. He knows where Augustine is, and he's going to take you to Augustine. And it should be mentioned at this time was when Reggie was saying, "Look, this guy's a convict. You shouldn't be trusting him."
Yeah.
But you're like so determined to go and get Augustine. You say, "Okay, we're going to go with him," and Reggie reluctantly agrees.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it doesn't take a genius to work out what's going to happen next. Do you want to?
Delson's wrong. Reggie dies.
Yeah, basically, Hank is working for Augustine. It's just a way for him to kind of pay his debt to Augustine. So they walk into a trap.
Lure him in.
Yeah. And basically, Augustine. That's the real, probably the only real kind of heartfelt. Again, the game's not always necessarily the best for heartfelt, but that bit was.
It was, yeah. It was quite sad when you see what Delson and Reggie have sort of gone through and the journey that they've made. It's
because despite Delson being this delinquent, Reggie's always seen the good in him.
Yeah.
And at that very end, where basically Augustine's put a load of concrete around
Reggie's feet,
and he's hanging there, and you're having to hold on to him and try and pull him up, but he's too heavy because of the concrete. And Reggie says, "You've got to let me go." And then he ends with, "I'm proud of you."
Yeah.
Which is...
brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it, as a gamer?
Yeah, it's always... death's... well, not always sad, but it's good when a death is sad, because it shows that the characters have been well written,
scripted, so that
you actually care.
Yeah, you're emotionally involved in the characters.
This is a game where you've been running around killing DUP soldiers for the best part of 6 or 7 hours now, and the rest.
Yeah.
And you've just... one person's dying and you actually care about this person.
Yeah.
So that leads to a battle with Augustine. Battle number 1.
Yeah.
How did you find that battle?
Battle number 1... it wasn't... initially I struggled, but once I figured out what I should be doing and where I should be going and at what point I should be trying to shoot her, it's not so bad.
Yeah. No, I was saying, it was one of those ones where it seems annoying, but this was where the video power, I felt, came in really well.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain power where you can...
be invisible.
So you kind of move to the side, and then when she can't see you, you can then shoot the rocks.
Yeah.
You basically have to shoot the rocks at her feet, and then when she falls off her platform, then you go over and kick her or something, I think it is.
I don't know. Punch her
while she's down.
Give her a wedgie.
You do that. You do that 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And then she's down for the count.
Yeah.
But that's not it. She's down for that count, and you think it's all over. And at this point is when you actually chase Hank back across the city.
Yeah.
And you finally track him down.
Oh, you're making me want to play the game again.
I know. What did you played it good, so you obviously let him go the first time round.
Yeah.
Because basically you hear his kid kind of saying, like, calling for her daddy.
Yeah.
But she's out in the mist. She can't see you with him.
That's right.
Did you feel like you had to let him...
You've got a chain around his neck.
Yeah, and you could choose to either choke him or let him go.
Yeah.
I let him go the first time and I killed him the second time because that's what the game dictated.
Yes.
Did you feel...
I didn't want to kill him.
Did you never want to kill him? No, you should. See, this is maybe where my moral compass divides a little. Because I was like, well, because of you, my brother just died.
There is that.
It's without trying to use any too bad puns, it's karma, really, isn't it?
Wow, yeah.
But the morally right thing to do is to let him go, because even though he brought you there, he didn't know that she was going to kill Reggie. Yeah. It wasn't his fault that he died.
Yeah. But again, it's part of the game, and that's what the game plays into.
So that's pretty much the majority of the story now, which
that's
the final battle. Which is you go to the DUP head tower.
Yeah.
Where this is basically where you just have to use all your different skills.
Trying to get to the top.
Get to the top of the tower, fighting a load of helicopters, enemies of different quality. That was quite a hard climb.
It was a hard climb because when you first do it, you're not exactly sure where you can go, where you can't go, what's going to be around the corner, what powers are best for what. So it was hard the first time, but anyway, you get to the top.
Yeah, and then at that point you use your video power to kind of do like this swoop up and drop down through into the building.
Yeah,
and you see Augustine there again, and that's time for the final battle. And this was where the game I thought went a bit weird. Not necessarily like in terms of like a final battle. This is when you're kind of, because you've been basically chasing Augustine the whole time for that concrete power.
Yeah.
And she says, if you want it, here, have it.
Yeah.
And she gives you the concrete power. But one thing we haven't touched on is when you first get a power, you can't actually use it.
You have to get the, I can't think what they're called, but the
DP command centers like that you blow up.
Yeah.
And then they give like a
charge,
a blast shard, like a big blast shard that gives you like boost for the power, and then through the miracle of, I don't know what it is, video games really I suppose, you just learn the power. There's no real explanation. It's just like you absorb this core.
It's not real.
Yeah, okay. It is real.
Yeah, okay.
It is real. Anyway, this happened in Seattle.
Yeah, okay.
It's core. That's what it is. It's blast core.
Blast core.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
You get that and you absorb the power. So at this point, you've got Eugene, of course, Eugene.
Yeah.
In his big, giant, super badass video game character that is for some reason real.
Yeah.
He rips off the top of the roof and starts flowing the blast cores into you.
As you do.
Of course, because that was the only way you were going to get it.
Yeah.
And so the final boss battle basically just entails you learning the concrete power and then eventually using your concrete power to destroy Augustine.
Yeah.
How did you feel that went?
I really didn't like the concrete power. I mean, the fight itself was tricky, but there was such a predictable rhythm to what she was going to do.
Yeah.
You know, the fight just follows the rhythm of just the same thing, repeating. The timing was always the same. So you almost knew, right, dodge 1, dodge 2, dodge 3, dodge 4, and then you could attack her. It was almost the same thing, just end to end.
Yeah.
You just keep doing that until she dies.
Yeah, it was just run out of the way, wait for her to do the attack, dodge the attack, hit.
Yeah.
It was
just repetitive.
Because you were in that big, well, I say big hall, but like that hall,
yeah,
the fight was limited, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was hard, like a final boss battle should be.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't.
It didn't
that hard.
It almost didn't.
It was just took a long time to do.
Yeah, because we'd already had these mini boss battles against the other conduits throughout the game. It didn't actually seem that hard in the grand scheme of things. It was more just, like you said, a bit boring. Not quite what you'd hope the big last hurrah would be.
Exactly.
So you defeat Augustine. Yay. The world believes that, she was actually the bad one all along, and, not all conduits are bioterrorists, yada, yada, yada. The world's happy for you. Unless, obviously, you took it the bad calm away, and then it's like, she dies as like a hero, basically.
Yeah.
Because if you're good, you expose her for what she is.
Yeah.
And if you're bad, you just kill her. So everyone thinks she died a hero, and you're this just...
Yeah, that's true.
Terrorists. So that takes you to the final scene, when you basically go back to Betty.
Go back to Betty.
To fix her legs.
Yeah.
Take the concrete out. And again, there's two endings there. The good one is, she's like, well done. I'm so proud of you. Your brother would be too.
Yeah.
Come in and have a cup of tea.
As old ladies do.
Fix my leg. And the bad version, she says, I saw you killing all those innocents on the TV. I'm disgusted. Your brother would be ashamed. And closes the door on you. And then the next thing that happens. What did you think about the next thing that happens?
I thought it was a bit harsh.
What he does next?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the viewers what he does next?
He basically blows up the
building. Yeah.
The building.
He goes up into the sky and does like this using like the smoke power. It's like this
bomb.
I can't remember what the name is called, but like you get like this. Each power has like a super finisher move. I suppose is the key.
Finish him.
Yeah, which is like a big kind of like you droop from the sky and then just cause like this big explosion.
Yeah.
And the game's cut to the credits as you hit the ground, so you don't know actually if you're actually going to explode.
Yeah.
But it's very much implied.
It's clever.
That was quite a ballsy move, I thought. That's because it was quite dark.
Yeah.
Because even when you were bad throughout the game, it was quite light-hearted. But that was dark.
That was really But yeah, it was good finish, and it was nice to have the two different endings for the different karmas, bad and good. And in terms of trophies, I know that we've both platinumed it anyway.
Oh yes, this is my first ever platinum.
It was your first platinum. Congrats.
Thank you. It's got me. I know you were already a trophy whore beforehand.
A little bit, yeah.
But this was kind of, my opinion was brand new console, first game,
platinum.
InFamous looked a fairly easy platinum, and
it was a fairly easy platinum. Just not too many hours. There wasn't any online trophies, I remember. So fairly simple. You can just do single player, commit enough hours to it, and it was quite easy to do.
Most of the stuff you could do throughout the story, by just playing the game.
Yeah,
and the extra stuff wasn't anything ridiculously mundane. It was, you just had to collect all those blast shards we talked about. You had to take down all those control posts that you talked about, like the DP control, and then you had to control the areas enough by like just doing enough kind of good or bad. There was good things to do, like kind of rescuing civilians.
Yeah.
And then there was bad things to do, like kind of there were these people,
guitar players
and like sign spinners, and you would like hit them, which I enjoyed doing those trophies. Yeah. They were quite funny.
But it's when you needed a sign spinner and all you could get was a guitar player or something, and you were just looking everywhere for them and you couldn't.
Yeah, because they weren't actually predetermined, were they? They just randomly generated.
Just randomly popped up.
But I actually, no trophy ever felt like a massive chore.
Nah, none of them at all.
There was a couple that I was worried about. I remember you asking me, like, how do you do this trophy?
There was one that I struggled with, which was to get through 2 vents and do a... What do you call it?
Atomic drop.
Atomic drop, whatever they call it, yeah. To get through 2 vents and do an atomic drop and kill an enemy or something without touching the ground.
Yeah.
That took me a little bit of work.
Yeah.
There's only certain places you can do it.
Yeah. There was that I actually just happened to come across.
But most people will probably do it through just general play and luck. But generally, one of the easiest platinums you'll ever do. The game story itself was not sort of mundane enough that you didn't want to play it a second time. It was and
it gives you those 2 options, doesn't it? Like the games do play different. There's the powers play differently. Like I said, my favourite was Neon because of that precision on the good karma, and on the evil karma, my favourite was Video, like it was for you for both versions, because you could like summon demons.
Yes,
which was really good, and you just summon I maxed out that power use. So if you could like summon 3 demons at once, I think it was. Yeah, and then basically I just sit there and be invisible while the demons killed everyone.
It was so good.
So that was cool.
Such a good game.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing First Light.
Yeah.
I will probably play this game again at some point. Once enough time has passed, it's still very fresh in my memory, but I will definitely want to go back and play it again at some point.
Same, definitely.
It's good fun.
And with any luck, they'll have another InFamous around the corner. That's
it'll be interesting to see. I don't know, because this is their 3rd entry.
Yeah.
So they've probably spent the best part of 8 years, if not more, working on InFamous games. Mm-hmm. I think the first one came out in 2007, maybe 2008. I don't have it there, and I'm not going to look it up.
It's been a few years, yeah.
Yeah, so it depends how much they want to be tied to that, and if they want to kind of branch out and do different things. I know we always talk about Uncharted. We talk about it probably too much.
Maybe.
But it's very much hinted that this might be Naughty Dog's final one, number 4.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be that studio where you're only remembered for one thing. And you worry about the team maybe getting a bit stale, repetitive, working on the same thing.
Same sort of characters, same storyline, same concept of the game.
But I would love to see another one.
Yeah,
personally.
I think we'll have. There's room for one more. I think because of the success of this one and how much better I think it probably looked and felt compared to the last one. I've not got great experience of the last one only from the few minutes that I have played, but the fact that obviously we're now in a new generation of gaming, in terms of how games look, feel, and can play.
Yeah, it gives them a lot more freedom to do maybe things that they wanted to do and had planned to do, but they couldn't do due to the limits on the PS3.
Yeah.
I mean, I would personally say this game, just closing up now, that I would probably give it a 9. I mean, it's really good fun.
Yeah. Definitely a 9.
Didn't like Delson as much as I liked Cole from InFamous, personally. There was something about the characters in the first 2 InFamous that maybe it was just because I've had longer with them, and I was a bit sad that he wasn't in this.
The new one.
In this new one.
Yeah.
But the powers and the way the game played was head and shoulders ahead, and so it should be, because like you said, it's a new gen.
Yeah. No, it's a great game, and if you've not seen it, obviously,
you shouldn't be watching this video this long.
Probably be watching it this far in, because now we've spoiled the whole story for you. But yeah, it is a great game, and if you've played it, I'm sure, like us, you'll want to play it again and again. So, if you've played it, you've played the story, and you've not gone back and played the sort of the other Karma, if you've only done one of them, go back and play the other one, because it's just as good to play a second time round. And like I say, if you're a fan of the trophies, it's a great game for the platinum. It really isn't much effort at all to get your platinum on this trophy.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's a good one to even maybe be your first.
Yeah, it is.
Like me.
It is.
What? That's not that funny, is it?
No.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. There is our opinions on InFamous Second Son. As you can probably tell, we were both big fans. Loved the game. Can't wait for more InFamous this week. We will that game, InFamous First Light, will be our featured game next week. So please make sure you come back and check that video out.
Yep.
If you've liked what we've talked about and agree with us, then please do like this video, subscribe to our channel. If there's anything else you want to talk about InFamous related that we haven't covered, because I know we can't cover everything without keeping you here all day, so do leave a comment. We will respond to you. For now, Ashley,
thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next Monday.